Hello, friends. Wendy, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to use embossing powder in a mixed media layout. Okay, challenge accepted. So I really was challenged by my friend, and I do have 3 embossing powders. Very boring ones, I suppose. Black, white, and clear. And I've spent actually days thinking on this because one of the things was that embossing powders are not my strength. And then I remembered that I did an embossing mixed media embellishment last year, as a matter of fact, and really enjoyed it. So I'm going to pretty much repeat that one, but it was mixed media, and I'm kind of looking forward to it now. So I have these pictures, and I am going to cut them down, but they are of butterflies. This is at Epcot, and during their Flower and Garden festival that they have each year, they have this huge butterfly cage area. Well, not really cage. They're inside that. And I thought I would pull out colors from these butterflies. So the colors from those butterflies are yellows, oranges, and then of course black. And I think I'm going to use the black embossing powder. I'm going to pull out, I'll just pull out my jar here and put them in there. So this is Fired Brick. It's a little more red than orange. Here's Crackling Campfire. Hoo-hoo-hoo. This one is Spiced Marmalade. This one's Rusty Hinge. This one is Wild Honey. We all know I love wild honey. This one you can tell I have used the most. This one is Fossilized Amber. And this one is Mustard Seed. So put the rest away. And then this is one of my favorites. I only have 1 or 2 favorites, right? No, I have like almost everything's a favorite. But this one really is a major favorite. There's 2 of them. And they're doodle art, I think. I also have them in dyes. They're very, 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 very similar, but they're not exactly the same. So the rule of thumb is to start with the lightest color. So I will. And this is another watercolor pencil technique. Hello, future Wendy here. So you take your watercolor pencil. I don't have water in here, but pretend like I do. This is pretend. You're going to dip it in the water, and now the pencil is going to react to the water. And when you start to color onto your stencil, it will transfer the ink from the pencil onto the stencil. There you go. Back to you, past Wendy. Bye. What you do is you ink your pencil, and then you color it wherever. And since I have so many colors that I want to use, I've got my husband laughing in the background, so if you can hear that, just laugh with him. Anyway, he's not laughing at me. He's watching something on his phone. Anyway, so you just kind of put it wherever you feel like putting it. Now I'm not worried if it dries, because if it does dry, I can spritz it with water. Okay, I think I'm going to speed up this process for you. Okay, and it's been a while since I've done this, so what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to spritz my water first. I mean water. My paper. Okay, and then I will put this down. And I'm going to take my other paper here and put it here. So I'm going to pick up this one. Let me set that down for a sec. Because this one I want to press down. It's not going to be precise. It's not going to be exact. Let's see. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I don't know what I missed there, but it's okay. I'm going to grab one more page. Here it is. Haha. Have it. So I'm also going to spritz this page real quick. So I'm going to then set this down again and get a second impression. Okay, I'm going to move that over for it to dry. I'm going to press this down. Now, you know, I put these, oh, I'm wobbling like crazy. I apologize. I'll try very hard not to wobble so hard. So that is my second print from it. I'm not going to get a third, so I will wash that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to set that aside, and I am going to spritz this. And this one just did not really, I wasn't sure what exactly it would do. You can kind of see that there's a design, but I also have all this lovely ink that I can pick up. Set this here, and I will pick this up here. The rest of this lovely ink off. Okay, and I'm kind of wondering, well, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to dry these. I got 3 pressings out of that. There are other things I'm going to do. So this one was the first pressing. This one was what I picked up off of there. And then I tried one more time to get one more pressing out of it, but I really didn't. I think it is what it is at this point. And then this one was the second pressing from this, plus picking up some of the smushness down here. But I'm very happy with them. This one I've decided is going to be my guinea pig. That actually fits right on there perfectly. So I might use that one. This was with it. I might do that. I'm definitely going to do that one. I'll start out with that. So it really doesn't matter how I place this on here. Like I've mentioned before, I keep some tape just attached to the edge of my desk to try to, you know, use it. Eventually it loses its stickiness and I throw it away. But until that time arrives, I have tape. So this is how I'm going to start. In fact, I better turn this around because it's not on the rubber side. There we go. Now it is. And I'm thinking I am going to be adding water to it. So what I need to do is use, and I'm grabbing it right now, the archival ink. I want to use vintage photo, but I'm going to use the archival ink on here because we are going to play a little more with the watercolor pencils, and I'm not even sure what all I'm going to play with, right? But I'm going to start with this. And one of the reasons I put it on here, well, you'll see in a moment. So, and I was thinking of all kinds of different things that I could do right now. I could put, am I wiggling you guys a lot? See if I can do this a little less aggressively. I think I might stick my ring on the shelf instead of on the table. And then when I'm doing all this shake, 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 it won't shake with me. Okay. So, let's see how this goes. Yeah, I am totally going to change that either tonight or tomorrow. Hadn't fully thought that out. I may change it in the next little bit. Okay, I'm going to wipe this off and we're going to try step 2. Hello, this is future me. So, you didn't see me add the dabbing, the embossing dabber on the butterfly. I decided I needed to demonstrate this. This is future Wendy. And let me show you how this works. And this is where this kind of a platform really works well. So, and I'm going to ink my butterfly. I'm just going to use this vintage photo that I have sitting right here. And by the way, I did change where I put my ring, where I hooked it, so it's no longer hooked to the table. It's hooked to a shelf. So hopefully all of the wobbling that I've had in the past will no longer happen. So here we go. So now, get my glue out of the way. By my little presser tool, there we go. Oh my gosh, this little guy, he wasn't expensive either, but he's nice. Okay. It's all right. But because this is a demonstration, okay, it's a demonstration, so I guess I will fully demonstrate. Sometimes rubbing it instead of dabbing it gives a better result. Okay, we're trying again. Because I did not move that stamp, it should stamp in the same place again. There we go, that's a little better. And I made the same mistake I made last time. I put it on the bumpy side of the watercolor paper instead of the smooth side. It doesn't matter, not for what we're doing right now. So now, I've spritzed water on here and I'm going to clean it off. Normally when I'm cleaning these off, I run them out under a faucet, but I don't want to move this, okay? I mean, it's important that it not get moved. So the next step is the embossing dabber. And this, okay, I am not a chemist. Got a son who is, but I'm not. Anyway, somehow this embossing dabber, this goo, I'm calling it goo because it's kind of gooey. Rub it and make sure it's on there real good. Okay. This goo will work with the embossing powder. So, put it down. Get my tool here. Okay. Now I've pulled it off. So now I'm going to put all this away. Because it's got goo on it, I'm going to set it like this and just set it aside. Okay. I want a piece of paper underneath to catch the embossing powder. I make sure I got clear. Because if I got white, that would be not good. Now, what I did on my other butterfly is I used archival ink instead of the distressed ink, which is going to give a different kind of an outcome. You want to tap that off. Then I like to put a little crease. This already has a crease, so maybe I'll just go with that. It was reject printing paper because of the crease. Okay. Because stuff happens to paper, like, I don't know, all the time. And then you just pour it back into the jar. And again, I tap it. And there is going to be a little bit of residue on the paper, so if I'm going to do a lot of embossing right now, I will just keep that. If I'm not doing a lot of embossing like today, I'm just going to throw this piece of paper away because it does have, you can't see it because it's clear on white, but there is residual on here and you just don't want that. And now the video you're going to see is of me melting the powder onto the paper because it's got this embossing goo on the design. Okay? I'm going to show you. See if you can see this. You see the little magic happening right there? See how it's turning into a vintage photo instead of kind of a powdered colored vintage photo? Well, it's melting right onto the page. So I'm losing my focus. There we go, back on focus. Oh, I like where I put my camera better, my ring. Okay. Make sure it is all done. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's better. I'm going to let it cool for a second. Well, just because I love it so much, I have decided I want to use Crackling Campfire. This is, again, it's play. This is just so not staying down, and I don't even know how to. Maybe I'll do that and then that. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that'll work. Still not. Probably should have got my iron out and ironed it. A little craft iron. Okay. So, and I have decided I just want to do this. In fact, this is actually a pretty decent idea. So that I will just ink where I need it. So I'm going to, oh, I'm hitting aggressively, and guess what? You are not getting any of the bumps. Okay, that was a smart idea. I'm glad I did it. I'm going to rub it a little bit too. Sometimes hitting it doesn't give as smooth of coverage, I guess is the word I want. Okay, so I'm going to get that out of the way. Put this back. And now fold it down. Okay, now I can rub. So my husband and I went for a walk today. We haven't been for a walk in a little while. And I'm a little out of shape. I'm getting ready to go to Disneyland again soon. It's like, I've got to get my Disneyland stamina back, right? You know, I mean, here's my thought. A, I do not like the bumpy side of watercolor paper. The end. That's all I have to say, because this did not give me what I wanted. Even this didn't come out the way I wanted. So The other two are not on the bumpy side, but I'm stuck with this already on the bumpy side. I guess I could turn it over, or I could start over, but you know, I mean, this is what I have. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is spritz this with water, just to get the colors reacting a little bit, because as you know, I absolutely love crackling campfire and what it does. So you can kind of see a little bit of, do this. You can kind of see a little bit of the design. You see where my finger is? There it is. With the flowers from this die on here. So that was not nearly as terrible as I thought. But again, I do not like the rough side of watercolor paper, and I will be ultra careful in the future. So, I have this die here, this stamp. I've often caught myself as I'm going through afterwards. I've caught myself that I have called a stamp a die and a die a stamp, and oh. So just forgive me for being human, okay? But I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not. Changed my mind. Sorry. I'm gonna do this. Okay. Put that there. This one over here. And I have knocked those two together, and there is a panic that they are never, ever, 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 ever gonna come apart. And there's sharp knives involved and all kinds of crazy stuff. My dryer just ended, by the way. I'm either doing my laundry or I'm doing my dishes, or my husband is doing a woodworking project. So there's always something serenading us, right? As I do my projects here. But we live here, you know. We live here and we have lives, and let's see. I think I want it there. And the reason I'm going to put it here is that part of this is more inked and part of this is less. And I kind of want to get that sort of an idea when I do this. I'm going to close it. I'll move it so you can see it better. Pick it up. Okay. So I'm going to dab it with the embossing dabber, because a little dab will do you. Yes, I know. I'm clever like that, right? So I hope people are getting their, well, gosh, they better have their Halloween projects done. They better be done by now, right? We are almost there. And then I don't know how many people do anything for Thanksgiving. I hit it, sorry. If you do craft for Thanksgiving, let me know. I'd like to know what people craft for Thanksgiving. I can see like place card setting, you know, for tables. We are so incredibly informal. We do not do that. But I could see that somebody who is not us would. Anyway, let's see. Move that off. I'm just gonna then pull this off and put it aside. And now, I'm gonna take this whole thing off. So as you might be able to see, there was some color on my dabber that is now on here. And the only time that would be really a problem is if I was going to do clear, but I'm not. So, and I guess I need to clean it a little better next time. But let's see what happens with this, because this is kind of what I really wanted to do for this project that I want to make. So the project was this little tiny hair just poking up. The project is to use embossing powder in a scrapbook layout, a Disney scrapbook layout. I can't buy any new products, which is fine because my allowance got cut off. Not quite, but you know, I mean, it's like, we're getting ready to go on vacation, and I think I want to save my money for vacation, right? I don't know how this particular jar got broken, but it sure did. I had several friends tell me that embossing powder is a learned skill, and that the more I do it, the better I'll get with it. So let's just hope. Or I will probably avoid it in the future. I am going to emboss. Okay, so this is where I really suck at it, and if I got like that anti-static brush, it would help this. I did ask a friend though, and she said she even has one, and it doesn't eliminate the little, I mean, here, I'll just do this. See these little, that's from a little leftover. I don't know, I would just have to get better at it, or not use black. So. But I want to use black with this. And the other thing I want to do now is I want to do this one. And I guess I'll just have to do it diagonally, or I'll just go like, maybe I'll just go like this. I think I will do that, and I don't think I will do this. Because what I really want to know is what font I want to use over and over again. Okay. So, as I hit this too hard, here we go again. I have observations. Clearly this one here is a thicker type than this one here. So that means that depending on the kind of look I want, I will choose either the thicker one or the thinner one. I have one more I want to try too then. I decided to even put them side by side, so you can see that this one has a significantly thicker font than this one. I mean, it's upside down, whatever, but I mean, you can tell. Okay, I put it on a platform. I mean, just a little platform, not a bigger platform. And I'm going to daub it and continue on from there. So this one is a nice happy medium between the two, but this one is Ledger. This one is Reflections. And this one here is from the poinsettia, or poinsettia, or however you want to call it. So this is the second best one. So this one was the first printing, and I love it. I mean, it's not meant to be perfect, right? But I love it. This one was that little mess on the side here that we picked up. And I really like what's happened here. And I can use this in so many different ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is add yellow. And I'm going to start with the lightest yellow, which is Squeezed Lemonade. And see what will happen if this is like yellow enough. Because if this is yellow enough, then this is where I will probably stop. Because I don't like how white it was. And by the way, this is yellow enough. So I don't need to go any darker than this. So already this looks a little more yum. Do I want to do white or do I want to do black? I've got plenty of black. Let's do white. So first of all, I set something down on top of this when it was still powder because I was trying to clean up my little mess that I made. It doesn't matter since this is a learning kind of a curve thing, but that's, you can see it shows up, but not very well with that light yellow. I'm going to smush and splotch. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And spritz. And I want to go around where I have, I love it when it does that. Where I have the white embossing powder. Let's let that dry. So I just put aged mahogany on here. This is even darker. And I'm going to try to get right here. But again, I want to be really careful just to pick up a bit. I want to get some over here too. Don't always get it exactly where I want it, but it's always fun to see what comes up. So I'm going to dry this again. So I just dried it. Let's see if we can get that a little closer up here. So you can see the white writing just a little better. And I'm going to compare it to the other one. Well, for this project, I definitely like the black better. However, I will use the white. I decided to do one more thing before I moved on, because I can see a lot more white down here that is not showing up. Ah, look at what that does. So I decided to get out my trusty and faithful honey yellow, wild honey. Oh my goodness. Love it though. Oh my gosh, this is looking so good. And now I am seeing all that white writing. It looked great with the aged mahogany and the crackling campfire. Both helped to improve that. But it had to bring something to just bring out all that white. So I think I'm going to just sort of blend it into this lighter color up here, because I very well may want to use this lighter color, but just to kind of just give it a little more warmth. Okay, back again. I decided I like that so much, I need to use it over here as well. And yes, I did. I needed to use it over here as well to give it that added warmth that I want on my project. Did I not ever heat it? Look what happened. Okay, mistake. Blending tool will go in the garbage, by the way. Remember how I was going to put that on there, and I did. I just didn't do the heat tool portion of it. So what I ended up doing was taking off all of the, no wonder it didn't show up very well. Duh, oh my goodness. Hey, this is what happens when you're crafting, right? And when you're crafting and trying to YouTube it too, right? But yeah, I don't know whether I want to try something there or not. Now I gotta decide. Well, I'm not sure I crushed this challenge. I still feel like using the embossing powder is a challenge and is not my favorite thing to do. So I was afraid when I pushed it down and I moved it a little bit, which I had. So this came out kind of interesting, but I like it. So I'm okay with that. Also, check out how some of the stamping that got swept off was still there and in the background. I like that too. I decided to pull out and show you this one that I did. Oh, I'm thinking it was in June. And so unlike this, it was important that the design look just right. But I'm going to pull this like this. You can see that I have little sprinkles here that almost made me throw it away. And then I decided I'm just going to embrace it. There was another place here that, and I don't know whether it's just the nature of this. Here, you can see it. That the embossing powder, if you do it too long, you heat it too long, it just sort of quits being all nice and shiny. I literally placed this over because there was some stuff behind here that made me want to cry. This one is also embossed, this one here. That one turned out a little better, but you can still see that I have this little mess in the corner here. Here's some more mess. I know, and you're going, oh, Wendy, you're being picky. I'm just trying to show that I do not have a talent with this. And this one, for me, was important that it looked good. This one, for me, is not so important. I will use every inch of this. I like the way these turned out. I'm going to use them to cut butterflies or parts of butterflies or, you know, just things to go on the page. So, and I will be doing that in another video. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, especially one that is covered with ink, right? Give me an inky thumbs up. Yes. And please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I am a new site, a new channel, a new something on YouTube. And I would love your support, especially if you enjoyed my videos. And I hope you have a wonderful day.